Welcome everybody. My name is Kyle Thiem here with the National Weather Service office in Peachtree City. And this is the 11 a.m. Tropical Storm Nate briefing here on Friday, October 6th, 2017. Looking at the overview, here's some of the latest information we have. This is some infrared imagery of Tropical Storm Nate over the Gulf of Honduras right now. And it looks like a slight increase. We have max sustained winds now up to 45 miles an hour as it's moved back over the water. It's looking like it's headed towards the Yucatan Peninsula. However, latest updates are indicating that it may miss the Yucatan and go just off of shore. We still have a northwest, north-northwest motion near about 8 to 10 miles an hour as it moves towards the Gulf Coast region. Right now, we're expecting the highest impacts to Georgia, mostly from Sunday morning into Monday morning. So looking at the situational overview, this was the forecast track from yesterday. Going forward, looking today, not much has really changed with where we're expecting landfall to occur. It still looks like it may hit in that Mississippi River basin, but given the spread in the models, it could hit somewhere between Louisiana and possibly even the far western extents of the Florida Panhandle. However, what has changed is that once we get near landfall, when the tropical storm or then projected to be a low-end hurricane, Cat 1 hurricane, as it makes landfall, the rightward turn is now much sharper than it was yesterday. And this is something that's going to even increase with we believe, the 11 a.m. update when it comes out. Right now, it makes a much more easterly turn than it does in this cone of uncertainty. We now are going to see probably much higher impacts for the northern Georgia area. The track itself is now expected to cross Georgia and stay somewhat just north of the I-85 corridor, but we do see the track getting closer to the Atlanta metro region, so that's something that we're really going to have to note. Right now, the main hazards will be wind gusts up to about 50 miles an hour, so that has increased slightly since yesterday. The rainfall amounts have increased quite a bit since yesterday. We're now looking at possibly isolated amounts up to 6 inches possible, especially for the northern Georgia area. And as mentioned yesterday, we will have a possibility of tornadoes with some of the outer rain bands. Chances are going to be pretty low on Saturday night, but they will be there, especially for the northern Georgia area. And then on Sunday, we'll have a higher risk down south, but anywhere where those outer rain bands set up, we're going to have a risk of that. Looking at some of the wind speed probabilities, there's now a 30% chance that we could see tropical storm force winds there in western Georgia, and this was with the previous update. With our new update coming out here at 11, that's probably going to increase just a little bit. It looks like we're kind of expecting these winds to arrive in the state around Sunday morning, but earliest reasonable time of arrival for these winds, which is a graphic that we showed yesterday, is earlier in the Sunday morning time frame. So we need to be prepared for these strong wind gusts as early as those early Sunday morning hours. Again, some of the higher wind gusts are going to be along and just northwest of the I-85 corridor, as we see here. This is the latest track and wind gusts that we have. This is mostly projected to be coming in Sunday afternoon into early Monday morning. Actually, I'm going to turn over to Keith here.
Okay, everyone. So this is based on the 11 a.m. advisory that's about to come out. We were able to get the winds loaded in based on the new track. And the one thing that has changed, as Kyle mentioned, was that the track, after it makes landfall, makes more of a right turn. So now it comes basically just north of the I-85 corridor, somewhere in the area where I've just drawn. And it has also increased its forward speed based on their forecast. So that will bring, based on their forecast, some stronger winds into Georgia during the day Sunday, because it is a faster. But some of the caveats with this are, the caveat is it has to be an 80-mile-an-hour hurricane at landfall, which is the current forecast. It will have to have the fast forward motion of 20+ miles an hour so that it doesn't weaken as rapidly as it comes ashore. And the current track of it turning hard to the right, more to the northeast after landfall. So with this latest forecast that's about to come out at 11 a.m., the impacts will be much greater than the previous forecast that we've been putting out for trees down and power outages. And again, that is during the day on Sunday. So stronger wind gusts we are expecting. These are wind gusts we could potentially see Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening, mostly. And then along with that, we could see some stronger wind gusts in the higher elevations. Some of the models are showing some pretty strong winds just off the surface, and that would also create some stronger wind gust up in the mountains. So something you'll have to stay tuned to, because with this faster forward motion and turn to the right, the impacts will be much greater for us going into the weekend. Turn back over to Kyle.
All right, thanks, Keith. And as he mentioned, those are all dependent on all the things listed there at the bottom of the screen. If any one of those change, we could see a change to this graphic as well, whether that decreases or it even increases. So we'll have to keep a close eye on that as we go forward. The expected storm total rainfall, this is coming from the Weather Prediction Center. And I want to note right off the bat that this has not been updated with the newest track information. This was valid about an hour ago. And since then, this might be changing a little bit. But currently, the biggest thing to note is that since yesterday, our max total rainfalls go from around 2.5 inches now, possibly even up to 6 inches as far as the northern Georgia area goes. And again, with the track changing slightly, this could also move down closer to the I-85 corridor. We could see these 3 to 4 inches moving closer to the Atlanta metro region. Now, if the storm is moving faster, as the newest track seems to indicate, if the system gets out of here faster, these chances could decrease. However, at the same time, if any one area does get stuck within one of these outer rain bands that we have around these tropical systems, we could see isolated amounts even higher than that. So a lot of this is dependent on exactly where some of these rain bands around these tropical cyclones set up. But currently, we are expecting to see maximum amounts possibly as high as 6 inches. And again, that could move a little further south than what we have it now. And this is over a 48-hour period, starting Sunday around 8 a.m. to Monday around 8 a.m. So Saturday morning through Monday morning is where we're expecting most of this rainfall to occur. And there's also going to be a slight tornado potential with this system as well. On the left there is the latest graphics for severe weather outlooks from the Storm Prediction Center. It shows most of the threat, which is only a marginal risk, there along the Gulf Shore on Saturday and advancing into the southwestern portion of our forecast area there on Sunday. But what's important to note is even though the potential is small for any one area, which is what these graphics tend to indicate, again, if we get some of those outer rain bands that come within our area, we are on what we call the dirty side of the storm to see basically is where a lot of the tornado potential seems to happen. If any one rain band sets up, even Saturday, as early as Saturday evening, Saturday night, it is possible that we could have some isolated spin-up tornadoes with that. Again, they should be extremely isolated if they do occur, and that chance will increase on Sunday, again, on the right side of the track. So right now that's indicating for the southwest portion of our CWA, the chance is going to be increasing for the possibility of tornadoes. So that's something also that we're going to have to keep an eye out for. And there on Saturday and Sunday, just be aware of any tornado warnings that do go out from us. So in summary, we've actually had quite a bit of change, even within the last hour, to the forecast of Tropical Storm Nate, which is going to be increasing the impacts for northern Georgia that we're going to see. Top line indicators of the hazards to take away from this is tropical storm force wind gusts. The possibility for those are increasing. We could now see those wind gusts going from 40 to 50 miles per hour. They're mostly along and just northwest of that I-85 corridor, especially in the western portion of the state. Up to 6 inches of rain is now being forecast. That could also adjust as well, depending on the speed of the system. And it's important to note that we could see isolated higher amounts even possible if we do get stuck within rain bands for a prolonged period of time at any one given location. A few tornadoes are going to be possible as well, mostly going to be contained to Sunday on the right side of the track, wherever that sets up. But the dynamics are also there on Saturday to see possibly see a couple tornadoes there as well, especially for the northern portion of the state. And also, given the changes to the forecast track that we're seeing, power outages along the northwest of the I-85 corridor are also going to be a major concern as well. And again, these primary impacts are mostly going to be from that early Sunday morning through Monday morning. We're going to see some rain and some rain bands out on late Saturday evening as well. But the main impact's going to be Sunday morning, possibly even early Sunday morning through that Monday morning time frame.